Hello and welcome back to the Argyle Generative AI Summit. My name is Vicki Lynn Brunskill with Argyle. It's great to have everyone joining us today. Just a couple of notes before I turn things over to our esteemed speaker for this session. First, a quick reminder to stop by our sponsors' virtual booths at any time during the event and for the following week. Our partners are committed to providing you with valuable content and a great overall experience today. At any time during the event, you can visit the virtual booths from the main agenda page. Also, to ask questions throughout this session, simply type into the Q&A chat and we will address as many as we have time for at the end of the session. And now, without further delay, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Ranjan Sinha, IBM Fellow, VP and CTO, Watson X, and IBM Research AI. We are so excited to have Ranjan with us for a keynote presentation titled Building a Trusted Data and AI Foundation for Responsible Business Driven AI. Welcome, Ranjan, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Well, hello, everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey through some of the cutting-edge developments in AI and demonstrate how embracing a data-driven AI-first approach can unlock unprecedented innovations and operational efficiencies. For over 7 years, I had the privilege of serving as the CTO for the Global Chief Data Office at IBM, where we laid the foundation for governed and trusted data and AI and helped to transform mission-critical workflows. In 2024, it marked a new chapter as I joined the IBM Research AI Group. So we are pioneering generative AI technologies and making them accessible through IBM's Watson X offerings and Red Hat platforms, and even open sourcing these models to fuel the global innovation. Now, IBM Research has been at the forefront of computing for nearly 80 years. We are now in an era of bits and neurons and qubits. AI and machine learning have become critical for business. We are inventing powerful, transparent, trustworthy foundation models and tools for enterprise tasks. We are also designing new transistors and chip architectures to meet the demands of power, efficiency, and security. This includes illustrating quantum computers to bring useful quantum computing to the world. Now, the one thing that has happened, especially with the pandemic, is that we have seen 10 years of digitization occurring in under 1 year. The pandemic has forced us all to change almost at once and more so to digital. And this is happening because enterprises and organizations recognize that they need to digitize now or risk being left behind. Now, what's even more interesting is that the trend of transformation has now turned into digital reinvention. And that's why you see 60% of business leaders ranking new business building as a top priority. And they're doing it as digital businesses because the digital businesses are more scalable, they're more resilient to change, and easier to sustain. Now, let me share a few trends on data, IT architectures, and AI usage. Now, IT architectures are becoming more heterogeneous. You see 90% of large companies use multi-cloud architectures, that is using more than one public cloud. The 70% of the companies run on both private infrastructure and public cloud. And 75% of the enterprise data will be created on the edge in the near to medium term. Now, so data volume, variety, and velocity continues to soar in magnitude. 90% of businesses must manage unstructured data. With technologies like generative AI, you'd be able to extract a lot more value out of such data than was the case before. And 60% of execs of generative AI will disrupt how their org designs experiences. So enterprises need modern IT capabilities to manage this complexity and unlock innovation, and are turning to hybrid cloud and AI as the standard. Now, data challenges are what makes transformation hard. Today, data is more dispersed, dynamic, diverse, and difficult to manage than ever before. Enterprises must juggle complex multi-vendor data environments, siloed data assets, and long data preparation cycles, all while maintaining a secure and compliant data governance strategy. Complexity also increases with acquisitions, which is a natural part of what happens in a large enterprise. Now, 68% of enterprise data is not analyzed. There is untapped potential. 80% of time is spent on data cleaning, integration, and preparation, which reduces the time for insight generation. And 80% of the enterprises say that data quality is a barrier to the data integration projects. So 80% of enterprises are inhibited by data silos. These are very significant numbers. So while there is a lot of data, there is a lot of potential to streamline the management of it and extracting business value. From an enterprise standpoint, I found this quote by Karim Lakhani very relevant and reflects what we are doing within IBM to become highly productive. AI is becoming the new operational foundation for business, the core of a company's operating model. So, an inflection point in AI has occurred, and enterprises need to reassess their AI strategy. Now, scaling artificial intelligence requires trusted data. Organizations still struggle with fundamental data challenges. These growing volumes of data across silos not only poses challenges to data governance and compliance, but also drive up costs actually with storing and managing data for analytics and AI. There is more data in more locations and more formats with less quality. Hence, there is no AI strategy without a data strategy. So it is important to design a data strategy, for which we typically use a six-step framework to ensure the roles of people, processes, and technology are aligned with an actionable data strategy vision. First, understand the business objectives. Connect your data strategy with the business strategy. And as you know, at the end of the day, the initiatives that get the most momentum and buy-in are the ones directly tied to the business strategy. Second, assess current state, understand the pain points, discover blockers and gaps that with better quality data or better data integration can solve. Third, map out data strategy framework. Establish the metrics of success and cross-functional data needs to support multiple use cases. Fourth, establish controls. And here's where you outline a data and AI governance policy based on quality, privacy, and security. Fifth, create integrated solutions. And so here's where you start by thinking what you can achieve that's valuable and viable in a short amount of time and collecting small wins along the way. We used a very similar approach when we developed our platform in the Chief Data Office. And six, scale your teams and processes and effectively communicate how much your efforts are paying off. That's important to understand all elements of the change, how to navigate it, how to learn through failing fast, and how to change the culture of the enterprise. And this is becoming increasingly important with generative AI, as you do have to experiment to learn and iterate. Now, IBM introduced the ladder to AI model, which can be used to assess the maturity of an organization in terms of being an AI enterprise. It provides a guiding principle for organizations to transform their business by providing four key areas to consider: how they collect data, organize data, analyze data, and ultimately infuse AI into their workflows. Step one is collect. This is how you can get access to the data. It's very important that access to relevant data should be made simple for users within an organization. Step two is organize, and this is how you create a trusted and governed analytics foundation. Step three is analyze, and this is how you can become insights driven at scale. And step four is infuse, and this is how you embed AI into your business in a trusted and transparent manner. It's important that you need to modernize your data estates in a multi-cloud environment. A hybrid multi-cloud platform allows organizations to take advantage of the data and applications across any cloud, public, private, on-prem. Now, this slide shows a modern day ladder to AI, which was introduced in 2023 by IBM. The AI has gone from a world where companies are thinking about running the business, plus doing some AI to help it, that's plus AI, to a world that is AI first to help the business. So leading companies of the next decade will be the ones that decides that they will be AI first, that's AI plus. And the single decision will dictate how they operate, how they work with employees, and how they work with their customers and suppliers. We are doing it internally within IBM, reimagining processes, workflows, organizations, tooling, and skills to become the most productive company in the world. Now, the bottom row of the AI ladder starts with good, collected, and well organized, trusted data. And this ladder is about how clients can add AI to their applications, automate their workflows, replace their workflows, and get to the point where AI does work. And that's what AI first as AI plus means. So this is really a time to reimagine and reinvent your organization and processes. Now, everyone needs access to consumable data for useful insights. Data insights permeates all business units and at all levels. In sales to rapidly respond to client needs, in HR, in marketing, and IT, and finance, and in operations, you name it. There's always a need for fast consumable data for useful insights. Now, the history of generative AI can be categorized into 4 key developmental stages. Each stage is a significant advancement in how AI systems are designed, function, and applied across domains. First, expert systems, which are early forms of AI, used a set of coded rules and knowledge bases, solve complex problems within a specific domain, and they were fairly brittle. Then the second was the machine learning systems that could learn from the data, identify patterns, make decisions with minimal human intervention. And you had algorithms like the Deep Blue, and I completed that with Gary Kasparov in 1997. And this was applied in a lot of the problems that you may have worked in industry and in various domains. Third is a deep learning that used neural networks that was trained on large amounts of labeled data, mostly trained for specific tasks. AlphaGo, the DeepMind program from Google that we released it all in 2016, are representative examples of that era. Then Google introduced transformers in 2017, which kickstarted the foundation models era. And there's the initial model trained on vast data sets, resource intensive, it generalizes a lot better and can be adapted for various tasks. And that resulted in ChatGPT and subsequent models that's being updated and announced literally on a daily basis. Now, while many enterprises acknowledge the value of AI, the following barriers to AI still exist. So AI projects that are too difficult to integrate and scale. There are ethical concerns. There's too much data complexity. It's high price, limited AI skills and expertise, and lack of tools for AI model development. And of course, for those who train models, there is always an acute lack of highly performant GPUs. Generative AI offers many benefits beyond traditional AI that you see on the left-hand side. But there are also new and enhanced risks that needs to be considered. So on the right side of the chart, you'll see a list of some of those risks. So on the bottom, it provides the risks of the traditional AI. And the middle section, you'll see the list of risks that were amplified by generative AI, like data bias or unexplainable output or source attribution. And in the top are the risks that are intrinsic to generative AI. That's confidential data and prompt, hallucination, or spreading misinformation. Now, these potential risks have significant implications of how AI is designed, developed, deployed, used, and governed. Now, AI regulation is also coming in fast, and it's necessary to be prepared. And this slide is a bit, maybe these numbers are a bit dated, of a few months. it might have increased over the last 2-3 months. So 31 countries have passed AI regulations, 13 more are debating AI laws. In the US, 25 states have introduced AI bills, and 15 more have adopted resolutions or enacted legislations. Hence, it is crucial that AI needs governance, which is the process of directing, monitoring, and managing the AI activities of an organization. Now, language models, large and small, are transforming enterprise workflows and consumer experiences, and the pace of change has been remarkable. IBM released the Granite series of language models under the Apache 2.0 license for research and commercial use. In fact, Granite 3.0 was released on October 21st, and you could think of them as the enterprise workhorse models. These models are open, they are performant, trusted, enterprise ready, and ranks highly in the transparency index that Stanford releases every year. In fact, these models deliver state-of-the-art performance relative to model size, while maximizing safety, speed, and cost efficiency for enterprise use cases. The IBM 3.0 models match and in some cases exceeds the general performance of leading open-weight large language models across both academic and industry and enterprise benchmarks. They are also available through IBM's watsonx and Red Hat offerings. Granite 3.1, released more recently, it represents IBM's third generation of large language models, and it supports a context length of 128K. And it provides a better way to handle RAG and function calling tasks. And it is significantly improved, as you'll see on the chart on the left-hand side, on a few benchmarks. That's IFE Val, a dataset featuring tasks that test a model ability to follow detailed instructions, and the MUSR benchmark, whose tasks measure reasoning and understanding on and off long texts. And there's a range of Granite models, Granite for language models, Granite for code, time series, the Granite Guardian, and Granite for geospatial data, which was a collaboration between NASA and IBM. So let's take an example of the Granite code models. So the generative AI is transforming the entire software development lifecycle, and the pace of change has been remarkable. We are witnessing a major shift in the way software is designed, developed, deployed, tested and maintained, explained, documented, and translated. IBM released the Granite series of code language models under the Apache 2.0 license for both research and commercial use. Now, these Granite code models compares well in accuracy measures with the leading models from the Google, Meta, and Mistral, as this chart shows, and shows, and there is a link to the paper as well, right at the bottom right corner. They support over 116 programming languages and has demonstrated comparable performance relative to the best open source models while being efficient. I mentioned about transparency, and so Granite code models also score very highly in the transparency index. And you'd find that it's in the fourth, and beats the models from Microsoft, Google, Meta, Mistral, OpenAI, and a lot of the other models that's have been released over the last few years. This is from the Stanford AI Index report that was published in May 2024. So they score major models on a set of 100 indicators that show how transparent that model is for developers and end users. So the IBM Granite large language models scored better overall than many popular models and was a clear leader in the risk mitigation category. There's another example. There's also some exciting work in the text-to-SQL space, and this model can convert natural language questions to executable SQL. And based upon the most comprehensive the Bird benchmark, IBM's Granite text-to-SQL model was top of the leaderboard in May 2024 with the ChatGPT-4 variants in second and third positions. And these leaderboards results change every week with the launch of new models, but IBM models continue to be ranked in the top 3, and this is sometime in November. So these technologies are all leading towards a conversational interface for the enterprise for insight generation. Let me provide you another example. Recently, sometime last year, a Dockling was released by IBM in the open source as a tool to streamline the process of turning all the unstructured documents that you have in the enterprise into JSON and Markdown files that are easy for the LLMs to digest. Now, this data can be used to train and customize AI models and AI agents for enterprise tasks and to ground them on the latest, most accurate facts. And it unlocks the full potential of enterprise data for AI applications. And it's gained a lot of popularity with over 21,000 starts on GitHub. So walk through a few examples that you'd find on the open source. Now, many of these enterprise use cases are now being powered by watsonx, which is the new IBM platform for AI, data, and governance. So watsonx platform has 3 components here: the watsonx.ai for clients to train, evaluate, tune, and deploy AI models; watsonx.data to scale AI workloads using all the data with the data lakehouse approach; and watsonx.governance for responsible, transparent, and explainable AI workflows across the entire model lifecycle. This is the high-level architecture view of how generative AI technologies fit into enterprise IT strategies. And the stack includes components that enable businesses to operationalize AI. You have the hybrid cloud AI tools at the bottom layer, the data services next, and you have the AI data platforms that includes the watsonx.ai, .data, and .governance. And then you have the software development kits and application programming interfaces on top, and the AI assistants at the very top. These are pre-built applications that's powered by watsonx. And clients can deploy watsonx AI assistants to automate customer service, generate code, automate HR workflows, and so on. So let me provide a few examples of these assistants. So AI assistants empower individuals to work without expert knowledge across a variety of business processes and applications. So watsonx Code Assistance, for instance, is a software development product for accelerating code generation, code documentation, code conversion from one language to another, and supports 116 languages based upon the Granite. For example, COBOL to Java. You don't have as many COBOL developers, and it'd be a great tool to translate between as an example. Now, for businesses, employee productivity is expected to be the primary driver of economic value. And as you can see at the right-hand side, there's a widespread interest in companies to apply AI to boost employee productivity across a range of business functions. So let me, and we are deploying a lot of these tooling within IBM as Customer Zero. And IBM has improved productivity significantly within the last 18 months, reduced complexity, and is investing in long-term growth and innovation while improving the experience for IBMers. We have delivered $1.5 billion of bottom line impact and have exceeded the $3 billion value creation. So in fact, and this has been achieved through multiple levers, be it eliminating operational complexity, simplifying our end-to-end workflows, deploying AI across operations, automating manual tasks. So it's multiple areas that AI is impacting internally. So let me provide you a few examples where it's proven to have worked really well and can drive real business results and outcomes. and serve as an ideal starting point for many companies. First is human resources. Here, the generative AI is transforming how HR functions work. Clients have seen a 40% improvement in HR productivity, streamlining tasks like talent acquisition and managing employees and performances. Second is customer service, where AI can help cut costs, automate rote tasks, free customer care representatives to focus on the higher value interactions. The third is application modernization, where I just walked through this, the Watson Code Assistant and how one can impact across the entire software development lifecycle. There's a range of use cases with business outcomes where generative AI has been used by IBM for its clients. This also includes several applications to the supply chain, to product development, to threat management, and so on and so forth. Now, the three key benefits of becoming a data-driven, AI-first enterprise are: first is the productivity gains and cost reduction, and this is the focus for many organizations today. Second is the reduced risks. And third is speed and flexibility for revenue growth. So IBM, in collaboration with the Oxford Economics, interviewed 1,500 chief supply chain officers and chief operating officers from over 35 countries and across 24 industries. And the findings are fairly striking. Over half of the CSCOs are emphasizing AI and machine learning develop intelligent workflows. And nearly half, I think it was 49%, are focusing on hybrid cloud and Internet of Things over the next 3 years. So the next steps from the same report are: begin by identifying a pain point where AI can add the most value. Focus with speed and start small. Prepare your data for AI implementation and digitize your pipeline. And make it a collaborative effort by involving employees and partners. And it's important to focus on progress, not perfection. You have to expect incremental improvements and learn and iterate. So about a year ago, IBM Meta and more than 50 leading organizations in AI announced the creation of the AI Alliance. So this is a global collaboration committed to building, enabling, and advocating for open innovation in AI to ensure that AI technology is accessible, trusted, and beneficial for everyone. And this alliance has today has more than 140 organizational members in 23 countries to address some of the biggest challenges in AI today. So it's driving progress in open and trusted data, new AI foundation models for industrial and scientific applications that's essential to the world economy and to the health and prosperity of the people. So finally, to summarize, this is an opportunity to reimagine and reinvent collaboration, workflows, processes, and insights generation in an enterprise to make it more data-driven and AI-first. The early use cases with the generative AI stack have already shown business value. So it is necessary for scalable, replicable, and trusted results that strong data and AI foundation is established. So check the Granite models for code, language, text-to-SQL, time series, and others. So these models are open, performant, trusted, and enterprise-ready, and ranks highly in the Transparency Index, and matches or outperforms the best open models in a range of benchmarks. Finally, AI technology is too important to be shaped by a few. So open source is the preferred innovation platform for AI and is being widely adopted in generative AI. So with that, it's been a pleasure to share these insights with you all today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ranjan, for such a timely and insightful presentation. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today for this session. This session, along with all of today's content, will be available on demand following the event. And for those of you who did earn points throughout today's event, an Argyle team member will follow up with the winners in the next couple of weeks. This officially concludes the Argyle Generative AI Summit Strategy, Leadership, Innovation. Thank you again for joining us today and engaging in our content. We look forward to seeing you at our next Argyle Digital Information Technology event, which will be our CIO Leadership Forum, Business Resiliency in the Age of AI on March 27th, 2025. Thank you again, Ranjan, and thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much.